The piano notes drifted through the glass-walled corporate atrium like a fragile memory that had lost its way, and in that exact moment, the most powerful woman in the building froze mid-step, her breath catching as if the past had reached out and grabbed her heart. It was not just a melody. It was her melody. The one written for her decades ago by a boy who had loved her before life taught them both how to lose. Before the story unfolds further, take a second to pause here. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the quiet power of human connection, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel Dreams Dairy. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Ethan Cole had not planned to play the piano that morning. He had come to the city headquarters only because his daughter's school fundraiser had been cancelled, and he needed one more shift as a freelance pianist to pay for her asthma medication. The lobby piano was there mostly for decoration, polished and untouched, a symbol of elegance rather than use. But his hands itched as he passed it, fingers remembering patterns his mind never forgot. He was a single father now, widowed too young, carrying responsibility like a constant ache behind his ribs. Music was the only place where that ache softened. The building belonged to Maren Vale, CEO of Vale Dynamics, a woman known in business magazines for her ruthless clarity and unshakable discipline. She had built an empire in daylight, boardroom by boardroom, contract by contract, never letting emotion slow her stride. What no one knew was that beneath her tailored suits and precise schedules lived a younger version of herself, one who once sat on the hood of a rusted car listening to a piano melody written just for her, believing love could outrun time. Ethan began to play because the room felt empty enough to be safe. Sunlight poured in through the high windows, scattering across marble floors, catching dust in the air like floating stars. His fingers moved slowly at first, then with growing certainty, guided by muscle memory and grief. The melody was gentle, bittersweet, rising and falling like a conversation that never found its ending. It was the last song he had ever written, back when he was just Ethan Cole, not a struggling father, not a man counting coins at night, but a dreamer who believed talent was enough. He had written it for Maren when they were young, before ambition pulled her away and life pulled him somewhere else entirely. Across the atrium, Maren stopped walking. Her assistant continued forward before realizing she was alone. The sound had cut through her like glass through silk. Every note landed exactly where memory lived. She felt 19 again, sitting in a sunlit apartment, watching a boy with messy hair and hopeful eyes play a song he said had her name hidden inside it. She had not heard that melody since the day she chose a job offer over a future that felt uncertain. She had told herself love was a luxury she could not afford. Time slowed as Maren followed the sound, heels echoing softly against the floor. Employees watched in confusion as their CEO moved without urgency, without her usual armor. When she saw the man at the piano, older, thinner, shoulders carrying quiet exhaustion, recognition struck like lightning. This was not a ghost. This was Ethan. Ethan did not see her at first. His eyes were closed, his face calm in a way it never was outside music. The song unfolded fully now, sunlight brightening as if the day itself leaned in to listen. When his hands finally lifted from the keys, the silence felt heavy, sacred. Applause did not come. Instead, there was a stillness that pressed against his chest. That was when he looked up and saw her. Maren Vale, powerful, composed, and yet standing there with tears sliding freely down her face in the middle of her own empire. The world seemed to tilt. Ethan's heart hammered, not with romance, but with the shock of unfinished truth. Maren saw the man life had shaped him into, and for the first time in years, she allowed herself to feel regret without pushing it away. She saw the lines grief had drawn on his face, the humility in his posture, and she wondered who he had become when she chose not to stay. She also saw something else, something untouched. The music. It was still pure. Still his. News of that moment spread quietly through the building, not as gossip, but as reverence. A CEO brought to tears by a piano in daylight. A single father whose melody stopped a machine built on speed. In the days that followed, Maren made changes no board demanded. She created a foundation for artists who had been forced to abandon their craft to survive. She offered Ethan a permanent role, not as charity, but as recognition. His music began to fill spaces designed for profit, reminding people of humanity. Ethan went home that evening to his daughter, sunlight still warm on the streets, and played the same melody while she colored beside the piano. For the first time since his wife passed, the future did not feel like something to fear. It felt open. As this story draws close, if it touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Dreams Dairy. Your engagement tells us these stories matter. And before you leave, a special request from the heart: comment the word melody below if you believe that some songs are never forgotten, no matter how much time passes.